What's up, dude? What you are doing?
Nothing. Reading the news. Just feels like they're becoming more and more inhumane.
Who's becoming more and more inhumane?
People in power?
Yeah, of course.
What do you mean, of course?
They're getting hungry. It's the end of a cycle.
What cycle?
The Earth, the frequency, it's changing, and it's gonna wipe out a certain type of animal that cannot survive on the frequency that like that.
What animal?
The reptilian, Josh.
What?
Yeah, the world is run by reptilians. Wow.
What was that?
It means I'm hungry and draconian.
What?
Yeah. Means I have a tiny cock.
Is this a joke?
No? My ancestors always know this. Uncle Peter's great-grandfather, he was make love to a draconian.
He made love to a draconian? A reptile?
Yeah, it was very scaly and very dry. You need a lot of lube. Yeah, but they're not all bad. It's just some are bad. It's like vegetarians and carnivorians. Not all of them like meat.
You're talking about this like this is a normal thing.
Yeah. Gerhard Gulstemeyer, one of my ancestors, he was on the ship that go to Antarctica.
Antarctica? No one can go to Antarctica.
Yeah, they do. With a General Bird. And yeah, he was blown to pieces. But some of his pieces came back. We still have it in an urn. And I have it in a little piece in like a glass of vinegar.
What? Why?
I don't know. As a souvenir.
I can't tell if you're serious. You really believe that the world is run by reptiles?
Yeah, they are lizards. Lazy lizards who like human flesh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, they are not creatures of God. They are creatures of Satan. And then there are some, they're creatures of Lucifer.
Lucifer and Satan are the same thing.
Nein! Lucifer is the Lord of the light. Satan is the Lord of the earth. Some of them come deep from the underground. Some of them come from above the sphere. You know, the reflection sphere. They are like interdimensional reptilian.
There's more than one?
Yeah, of course, Josh. There's like different races. Just like we have Chinese and Mexicans and Americans. Although the Americans are like a mishmash. But anyway, you have like hybrid beings. And then you have like ones that are like fleshy. And they have scalies. And they have really tiny cocks. And they like to eat flesh and suck it. And then you have like the interdimensional ones. They're more like energy beings. And they're like when you are suffering. And they're the ones controlling the stuffs from the top. They're putting two armies together, funding both armies, so they can just suck up the suffering that leak out of your body when you are in deep despair.
How do you know this?
Everybody know it, Josh. What do you think the story of Rumpelstiltskin is about?
Rumpelstiltskin? The children's story? What does that have anything to do with the people running the world?
Everything, Josh.
It's just a fairy tale written by two weird Germans.
It's not a fairy tale, Josh. It's a warning.
A warning?
Yeah. Rapunzel, she steals the baby. Hansel and Gretel, she put him in a cage and want to eat him.
Yeah, but why tell weird stories? Why not just say it outright? If you're going to warn somebody.
Because the reptilians don't understand humor and they don't understand metaphor.
Metaphors? What do you mean they don't understand metaphors?
They are not creative. They are not visionaries. They are not seeing things visually. They are only knowing what already exists and what may exist based on statistics. They are very good at maths. They are very good at science. They are very good at like lawyer stuffs and banking, you know?
Lawyer stuff and banking?
Yeah. That's why Jesus spoke in parabelen, because that's why he can transmit a message that the Lemurians, the real humans, they can hear it. And the reptilian ones, even the hybrids, they're like, what does this dude talk about? We have to destroy him. He's crazy.
So you're saying these reptiles, they can't read between the lines or what?
Yeah, they have no access to novelty. They have no access to the unknown. They only know the known. Very boring. And that's why they need humans. If it wasn't for that, we already would be wiped it out of it.
So you're saying they need us, but they don't like us?
It's not about like or not like. They have the emotional intelligence of a doorknob. But they are very highly intelligent in like the other kind. The one that I don't really know, like math.
You're bad at math?
Very bad at math. Numbers slip through from one eye to the other. There's no reception there because I am from the Lemurian bloodline.
Lemurian bloodline?
Yeah, the original human, the post-ape one that was here, that was slightly...
Wait, stop. Lemurians? What is that?
Lemurians. We are the first that were altered because they came here and there was just apes. And then they were like, oh, we got to need some humans that are smart so they can dig for gold and stuff because they need it for the ships and for stuff. And then, they genetically engineered the first humans, and they were the Lemurians. And they were very much in touch with like trees and the grass and the wind. And we are highly emotionally intelligent. And then we had a huge cocks. And then they got jealous of us and they tried to wipe us out. It seems like they're always trying to wipe you out. Yeah, Josh, why do you think the food is poisoned, the air is poisoned, everything poisoned? Why do you think there's war? It's not humans, it's reptilians. Yeah, but why would reptilians want to poison the world? Because the poison lower the frequency, and they can only survive in a lower frequency. Because they want our world. But they're not gonna get it. Because the frequency is rising. What do you mean the frequency is rising? Because the earth is having a fever. The resonance is rising. And they're gonna be a blackout, and then we're gonna start making love to nature again. Get back in touch with them, you know what I mean? What are you doing? Hey, so I spoke to my dad, who's a history teacher, and he said your reptilian theory is complete bullshit. That's okay. Your dad liked to dress up as a flamingo and ask me to be the shrimp. What? What book is he using to teach history? I don't know. McGraw-Hill? Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad published it dead. The pedo. What? Well, what's your source? Uncle Peter. He jerked off into his aquarium, but at least the fish is of age. Yeah, whatever. So you really don't believe that humans evolved from monkeys? You think humans evolved from monkeys? What happened to the monkeys? What do you mean what happened to the monkeys? The monkeys, Josh, in Africa and Asia. What happened to them? They were just too lazy to evolve, and they've decided, no, we're just gonna throw shit at each other and jerk each other off under a palm tree for the rest of eternity? I don't know, Olaf. Some animals just don't evolve. I don't know, Josh. I just don't believe the history books written by pedophiles. I prefer to listen to the stories of my ancestors, the pirates. The pirates? You do know you sound insane, right? No, the Katars. Do you know the Katars? The Qatar? No. They are the pirates. But they get a bad rep because they was the ones who were holding the secret knowledge that was wiped away after the reset. Every few hundred years, when humanity start to learn too much, they do a reset. And then all the old knowledge get wiped out. But there's always a few weirdos, like my ancestors, who hold the knowledge. And that's the Katars, the Piraten, and they escaped it to the Caribbean. And they were fighting the United Kingdom, the monsters of the time. What do you mean the monsters of the time? They're reptilian. They always choose one kingdom over another, and they use the lords and the kings and the peoples in power, the popes, as the little bitches. They are still human, but they are the little bitches, and they do what they want. You know, like on a slave farm, where you have like slaves that when they are performing nicely and they are doing what they are obedient, then they get to be the slave masters. There's the master, the slave master, and the slaves. Who am I? I mean, if I were to do roleplay with you, you'd definitely be the slave. The bottom. What do you mean I'm the bottom? I mean, you're the slave of the panopticon. The panopticon? Yeah. Panopticon is like a building with many windows, and you never know if somebody's watching. You ever jerk off on an elevator? No? Yeah, because you never know who's watching. That's not why I don't jerk off on an... Shh, relax. I can't follow. It's very simple, Josh. It's always been a prison system, but now the physical has turned digital. Chip in your brain, syringe in your arm, nanoparticulates to modify your personality. And if you comply, they're gonna squirt in your eye. Nanoparticulates? They turn the knob, you go whoop! Well, what were you saying yesterday about pirates? The pirates are the good guys? Yeah, the pirates have always been the good guys. Pirates of the heart. Pirates of the heart? Why are they always the bad guys in the movies? Misdirection? Programming? Most of the movies are funded by the Pentagon, Josh. Yeah, but why would they want to paint the pirates as the bad guys? Because the Katars trying to steal the heart of the peoples away from the papacy. The system that tried to harvest your heart energy. As an ether currency, Josh. Ether currency? No, Josh. The heart is the treasure of the universe. The human heart. It resonates and it can create and manifest. But if it's kept down, if it's kept at a low hum, it can just be controlled, and then you see what you see. What do you mean it manifests? Movies are the hand job of the heart, Josh. It jerks your heart until it squirt, and then it uses the semen to create the world.
The hand job of the heart?
Yeah, most of the entertainment industry is there to show you murder, show you atrocities, and make the evil guy the hero, so that it can be like a gold digger. It take your semen and put it into whatever it wants to do. It wants to use you to manifest the world events, because only when you believe it and when you are subconsciously attuned to a future that they want, that's what's happening. But if we could decide for ourselves what we want, if humanity could actually decide what we do and how we resonate and in what direction we want the world to go, we could do it easy. But we are constantly being misdirected into a place, a focal point of what the master jerker want to jerk.
What does the master jerker want to jerk?
You want to give birth to the Antichrist, Josh.
The Antichrist, really? You believe in
Well,
that?
I believe in the Christ energy. Why not believe in the Antichrist?
You believe in, like, you're religious?
Christus, Christian, that is just a label. Christ energy is the resonance of the heart. The ability to use your body and your heart to resonate, to affect the rest of the world to a frequency, to a resonance that is beneficial to humanity. That's all it is. It's very simple.
But you don't go to church?
Community is beautiful, Josh, but my body is my church, my kingdom. My heart is the door. My love is the key to the kingdom of heaven.
So what about Jesus?
Master of heart resonance. But he never told anyone to wear all white in a robe, put all chains like a rap star, and wear a fish head.
What did he want?
To teach you to build a well, Josh, not to sell you water, so you could swim freely in the aquarium of life. Ether. Hey Josh, how you doing?
Hey, we keep talking about ancestors and like they're passing on the stories.
Yeah, that's my preferred form of history. Why?
Yeah, why is it that you prefer that over the official story?
I don't prefer it. I like to listen to the stories of the winners and the losers.
Oh, so you believe both?
I use both to make my assessment of the situation.
How do you do that?
Well, the architects, the people who are writing the stories, the winners, they are also telling you the truth. They're just not telling it in the history books. They're telling it in symbolism.
In symbolism?
Yeah, in movies and stories. They have to tell you. By cosmic law, they have to tell you the truth. They just do it in a secret way, but they have to tell you.
What do you mean they have to tell you?
It's like your dad, you know? Every time he put on a Napoleon hat, I know later on today he's gonna want to do some sort of role play where your mom play like Sir Hudson Lowe and he's Napoleon.
What?
Sir Hudson Lowe. He the dude who apparently assassinated Napoleon, the British oligarch. It's a dirty role play.
Okay.
It's predictive programming, Josh. It's a law. It have to be exposed to the peoples. It's like the mouse have to see that it's a mouse trap. And if she's stupid enough to eat the trees, that's her fault.
Okay, you're all over the place.
Okay. You know the story of the Mo'o and the Polynesian stories?
No, I don't know a random Polynesian story.
Okay. Well, there are no reptiles native to Hawaii, but there are stories that there was like some sort of heroes who always destroyed reptilian beings that were harassing the humans, and they're slicing them into many pieces and then throwing them in the oceans, and then they become pieces of rock.
Okay, what does that have anything to do with anything?
That's why I like Jason Momoa, because he's one of the descendants of one of those heroes.
How do you know that?
I can smell it. Jason Momoa smell like a hero.
Okay.
And he protecting Hawaii until to this day.
You can just say Hawaii. Anyway, I just don't think it's that big of a plan. Like, what's the point?
Dependence, Josh, but we have to be quiet about this kind of information.
Dependence?
Yeah, Josh. Why do you think there was an opioid crisis and nobody got in troubles? Because when the lights go out and there's a blackout, they need to have people who are addicted or dependent on medical or drugs.
Dependent when?
There was this blackout simulation, Josh. And when the blackout happens, it's gonna be blamed on Russia or China, and they're gonna need people to come to the FEMA camps for total control.
Okay, you're losing it.
Yes, they're gonna have to wipe out the dead somehow. And the best way to do it is to do a blackout. And then if you're addicted or you need medicine, you're gonna let them put a finger up your ass.